Welcome to ESL listening practice. I want you to imagine for a moment that you are sitting in a waiting room.
Oh, I already know where this is going.
Right. The chairs are like slightly too stiff, your hands are a little bit cold, and no matter how many times you wipe them on your trousers or your skirt, your palms just keep sweating.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
It really is. And, your heart is beating so loudly inside your chest that you are legitimately worried the receptionist sitting 20 feet away can actually hear the thumping.
Yeah, you feel like everyone in the room is just watching you.
Exactly. You are wearing your absolute best professional clothes. You're holding a printed copy of your resume, and you're just waiting for a door to open and for a stranger to call your name.
We all know that exact physical feeling. I mean, job interviews are incredibly stressful for absolutely everyone, regardless of where they are from or, what language they speak. It's just a high-pressure situation where you feel like you are being judged on every little movement.
But when you have to do that job interview in English, and English is not your native language, it adds an entirely new, just incredibly heavy layer of anxiety.
Totally. A massive layer.
You're not just worrying about whether you have the right experience. It feels like you were trying to climb a steep mountain while carrying this, heavy backpack full of dictionaries and grammar rules.
That mental load is just massive because you are trying to remember your entire professional history, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to prove that you are competent and good at what you do. But at the exact same time, in the background of your mind, you are actively translating vocabulary in real time.
Right, which is exhausting.
It is. You are second-guessing whether you use the past simple or the present perfect tense. You are hoping your pronunciation is clear enough that the interviewer doesn't look at you with that confused expression. It takes an enormous amount of mental energy. And honestly, feeling terrified in that waiting room is a completely normal, logical reaction.
Yeah, and we want to acknowledge that fear right away because our mission today is to help you remove that heavy backpack.
Exactly. We want to reassure you. Succeeding in an English job interview, even for a really high-level corporate position, it does not require you to use incredibly difficult, complex English words. You do not need to sound like a university professor. You don't need a vocabulary of 10,000 rare words to get a great job.
Right. And trying to sound like a textbook often hurts you more than it helps. So today, we are going to focus on clarity and strategy. We are going straight into the specific situations you will face in that interview room.
We're going to give you the exact tools you need.
Yeah, we are going to share exact, simple, yet highly powerful phrases that will help you communicate your value clearly. These phrases will help you show your enthusiasm and, make a brilliant, memorable impression on any employer.
And, we are native-speaking English teachers, and we spend our lives analyzing how language works in the real world. So just think of us as two friends sitting right next to you on that stiff waiting room couch.
Just whispering the answers in your ear.
Exactly. We are going to help you practice and understand the psychology behind the questions the interviewer is going to ask you so you can walk through that office door with total confidence.
So let's imagine that door opens. Your name is called. You stand up, you walk into the office, shake the interviewer's hand, and sit down across the desk.
The moment of truth.
Right. And after a few seconds of polite greeting, you are almost guaranteed to hear the dreaded first question. It's this classic opening used all over the globe. The interviewer leans back, smiles, and says, "Tell me about yourself."
Oh, yes. It sounds so innocent and friendly, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
But this is a massive trap.
A huge trap.
It is the most common place where interviews immediately go wrong. People hear the phrase, "Tell me about yourself," and they interpret it literally.
Right. They think the interviewer actually wants their entire life story.
Exactly. They start talking about where they were born, how many siblings they have, what their favorite subjects were in high school, and how much they love playing tennis on the weekends.
And you can just see the interviewer's eyes glaze over. The confusion happens because of the context, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're at a dinner party and a new friend says, "Tell me about yourself," they absolutely want to know about your hometown, your family, and your hobbies.
Because that's how we build social relationships.
That is how humans connect. But a job interview is an entirely different environment with completely different rules. The interviewer does not actually want to know about your personal life. They are using this question as a professional icebreaker.
Right.
They want a short, highly targeted summary of who you are as a worker. They do not need to know that you won a local chess tournament when you were 14, unless, you are applying for a job as a professional chess coach.
A really helpful way to think about this, and I love this analogy, is to imagine you are creating a movie trailer for your professional life.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, think about what happens when you go to the cinema. Before the main film starts, you watch trailers for upcoming movies. A good trailer never shows you the entire 2-hour story.
No, because if it did, it would be boring and you wouldn't need to buy a ticket to see the rest.
Exactly. A good trailer only shows you the best, most exciting, and most relevant parts. It introduces the main character, shows a little bit of the action, and sets up the basic plot. It gives you just enough information to capture your interest and make you want to know more.
And your answer to tell me about yourself needs to be exactly that. A tight, focused, professional trailer.
So how do we build that trailer?
Well, to make it effective, you need to leave out all those unnecessary background details and focus on 3 specific components. First, your current professional status or education. Second, your relevant work experience. And third, the skills that are directly connected to the specific job you are interviewing for today.
And the key word there is relevant, right?
Highly relevant. Everything you say must connect back to why you are sitting in that specific chair for that specific job.
Let's look at a concrete example of what this sounds like in practice. Here is a perfect, simple, highly professional English response. Let me just read it out. I have 3 years of experience in customer service. I enjoy solving problems and working with people. I'm looking for an opportunity to develop my skills in a growing company.
Wow. Short and sweet.
Yeah, that takes about 10 seconds to say, but there's so much strategic English packed into those 3 sentences.
It is incredibly dense with good information. Let's start by looking at the very first part. I have 3 years of experience in customer service. This is a fundamental foundational sentence structure that every intermediate English learner needs to internalize.
The gold standard.
It really is. The specific phrasing, I have number of years of experience in field, is the absolute best way to do a business introduction. First, notice the tense. We say, I have. We use the simple present.
Which seems basic, but it's a huge stumbling block.
It is. A very common mistake is for learners to say, I'm having 3 years of experience, or I have been having. But you possess this experience right now as a permanent fact about your professional identity, so the simple present is perfect. I have.
And the prepositions in that sentence are crucial, aren't they? Because I hear a lot of learners drop those small words because they seem unimportant, but to a native ear, it disrupts the entire rhythm of the sentence.
Exactly. The rhythm is what makes you sound fluent. Notice the word of. It is years of experience. Sometimes, just out of nervousness, learners will rush and say, I have 3 years experience.
Which isn't terrible, but...
Right. The interviewer will definitely understand you, but it sounds a little bit rough. It lacks polish. You need that tiny connecting word to sound natural. I have 3 years of experience.
Then we hit the next preposition, which tells the listener what your expertise actually is. Experience in.
Yes. We use in to denote the general field, industry, or department you work inside of. So you say experience in customer service, or experience in digital marketing, or experience in logistics and supply chain.
So the whole block is one unit.
Exactly. The complete unbreakable pattern you should just memorize is, I have number of years of experience in field. This is so much stronger and more professional than saying something like, I worked for 3 years doing customer service.
Right. Doing customer service sounds very casual.
It does. The meaning is the same, but the phrasing experience in positions you as a professional with acquired knowledge, not just someone who, showed up to a job to get a paycheck.
That makes total sense. So that first sentence handles the past and your current foundation. Then the example moves to the second sentence. I enjoy solving problems and working with people.
I love this sentence.
Me too.
Yeah.
This is fantastic because it injects a little bit of your personality. It shows what you actually like doing, which hints at what kind of attitude you will bring to the office every day.
Right. They want to hire a human, not a robot.
But the real magic happens in the third sentence. I'm looking for an opportunity to develop my skills in a growing company. There is a vital vocabulary here for anyone interviewing in English. Let's talk about the word opportunity.
This is a great word for B2 learners. In a casual setting, you might just say you're looking for a chance. Like you want a chance to prove yourself. But in a corporate or business setting, opportunity is the preferred term.
It sounds a bit more elevated.
It does. An opportunity is a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something positive. When you say you are looking for an opportunity, it sounds serious. It implies that you're looking for a mutual exchange of value.
Oh, I like that. A mutual exchange.
Yeah, a situation where you can give your talent to the company, and in return, you get the chance to build your career.
And the second part of that sentence is to develop my skills. Now, I want to pause here because this brings up a really interesting cultural point about modern workplaces.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, if I am the manager, right, and I am paying you a salary to do a job, why do I want to hear that you are looking to develop your skills? Aren't I hiring you because you already have the skills? Some learners might worry that saying this makes them sound inexperienced, like they need to be taught everything.
That is a very logical fear, but it actually works the complete opposite way in modern business culture. To develop your skills doesn't mean you don't know how to do the basic job. It means you want to take the abilities you already have and make them sharper, stronger, and more advanced. When you tell an interviewer that your goal is to develop your skills, you are sending a massive psychological signal. You are telling them that you have a growth mindset. You are saying, I am not someone who is going to sit at a desk, do the bare minimum, and let my brain go to sleep.
Right. You're hungry.
Exactly. I want to learn new software, I want to take on more complex projects, and I want to become an expert. Managers love this because an employee who continuously develops their skills becomes continuously more valuable to the company.
It shows ambition without sounding arrogant. That's perfect. So if we look at that three-part answer again, the underlying structure is just brilliant. First, you state your past experience, proving you're qualified. Second, you share your present enjoyment of problem solving, proving you have a good attitude today. And third, you share your future goal of developing skills with them, proving you have long-term ambition.
Past, present, future.
Yes. In about 15 seconds, you have told a complete, compelling story about your professional journey. It sets a beautifully positive tone before the interviewer even starts asking the difficult questions.
You have given them the trailer, and if you do it right, they are interested in the rest of the movie. Now, the natural evolution of an interview is to shift the focus. You have told them who you are. The very next thing they want to know is why you have chosen them.
Right, they turn the spotlight onto themselves.
They do. This leads to the second major question. Why do you want to work here?
Oh, this question. This question is all about the employer's ego, honestly. Companies want to feel special. The worst thing you can do here is give a generic answer. Interviewers know that applying for jobs is difficult, and they know you probably sent your resume to like 20 different places.
Or 50.
Right, or 50. But they do not want to feel like they're just a random option on your list.
No, they don't. If you say, I want to work here because the office is close to my house.
Yeah.
Or I want to work here because the salary is good. You are telling the truth, but it is the absolute wrong kind of truth for an interview.
It's too selfish.
Exactly. It shows that you only care about your own convenience. Employers want to know that you have researched their specific business. They want to know you understand what they do and that you respect how they do it.
Let's examine a perfect, highly natural response to this question. The phrase is, I admire your company's reputation, and I believe my skills would be a good match for this position.
That is a remarkably smooth sentence.
Is it? It doesn't use unnecessarily complex grammar, but the vocabulary choices are incredibly precise. Let's break down the word admire first.
To admire something means you look at it with respect and approval. You recognize its quality. Like if you admire a person, you think highly of their character. If you admire a piece of art, you think it is beautiful and well made.
Right.
In this sentence, you are pairing it with the word reputation. A reputation is the general opinion that the public or the industry has about a business based on what they have done in the past.
Like their track record.
Exactly. If a company always delivers projects late and treats its workers poorly, it has a terrible reputation. If a company creates innovative products and serves its clients well, it has a stellar reputation.
But wait, let me step in here as a student for a second. If I am applying for a job at a company that manufactures, cardboard boxes, or a company that processes payroll taxes, isn't the word admire a little bit too dramatic? I mean, I admire my parents. I admire doctors who save lives. Can I realistically sit in a corporate office and tell a manager that I admire their accounting firm? Won't they think I am just lying to make them happy?
That is a fantastic point. And understanding that nuance is really what separates a beginner from an advanced speaker. It is true that admire carries emotional weight when used in personal relationships. But in a professional corporate context, the emotional temperature of the word cools down a bit, and it becomes a powerful tool to demonstrate professional enthusiasm.
Okay, so it's less about love and more about respect.
Exactly. You are not saying you love the company like a family member. You are saying you respect their operational excellence. Even a company that makes cardboard boxes can be admired if they have the most efficient supply chain in the industry, or if they have, like, excellent quality control.
Oh, I see.
By saying, I admire your reputation, you are proving that you care about quality work. It shows you have a positive, energetic approach to the industry, which is exactly what they want to hire.
That makes perfect sense. It is about respecting their standard of work. Now let's look at the second half of that sentence. And I believe my skills would be a good match for this position. The phrase I really want to focus on here is a good match.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Because when B2 learners are preparing for interviews, they often turn to the thesaurus.
Oh no, the thesaurus trap.
Right. They want to sound smart, so they try to memorize these huge academic phrases. They might try to say something like, I believe my professional competencies are synergistically aligned with your organizational requirements.
Oh, wow. Just hearing that makes me cringe a little bit. It sounds like a robot reading a legal document.
Exactly. It's so unnatural. But a good match sounds so perfectly natural.
Native English speakers in the business world prefer clear, efficient, and conversational language. A match simply refers to two things that go well together and complete each other.
Like puzzle pieces.
Yes. Think of a lock and a key, or a left shoe and a right shoe. They are a match. When you tell the interviewer your skills are a good match for the position, you are painting a very simple, very positive picture in their mind. You are subtly telling them your company has a problem to solve, which is why this position is open. My skills are the exact tool you need to solve it.
It's so elegant.
It's conversational. It is confident, and it proves your actual fluency far better than using a 5-syllable word you found in a dictionary.
You are telling them that you fit perfectly into the empty space on their team. So, all right, you've explained who you are, and you've explained why you respect their company. The conversation will naturally shift toward the specific value you bring.
Time to prove your worth.
Right. The interviewer wants to know what you are exceptionally good at. This brings us to the inevitable question. What are your strengths?
This is your moment to shine, but it comes with a major warning. You cannot just list every positive thing about your personality.
Like, I'm funny, I'm a great cook.
Right. Nobody cares. Your answer must be tailored to the specific reality of the job you want. If you are applying to be an emergency room nurse, telling them your greatest strength is your wild creativity might actually scare them.
Definitely.
Nurses need to be precise and follow strict protocols. You have to match your vocabulary to the requirements of the job description.
We have a list of 5 essential adjectives here that are universally valuable across almost every industry. These words are reliable, organized, hardworking, flexible, and being a good team player. Let's go deeper than just defining them. Let's talk about what these words actually signal to an employer, starting with reliable.
Reliable is arguably the single most attractive word to a manager. It means you can be trusted to do exactly what you say you are going to do when you say you are going to do it.
It's about trust.
Pure trust. Think about the psychology of a manager. They have their own stress, their own deadlines, and their own boss to answer to. A reliable employee is someone they do not have to worry about.
Oh, it's huge.
If you are reliable and you promise to send a report by 5:00 p.m. on Friday, the manager knows that at 4:55 p.m. that report will be in their inbox. They don't have to chase you. They don't have to micromanage you. When you say, I am reliable, you are essentially telling them, I will make your life easier.
That is a powerful message. Every manager wants their life to be easier. And what about organized?
Being organized goes hand in hand with being reliable. In a modern office, being organized doesn't just mean your physical desk is clean.
Right, it's not just about stacking papers.
Exactly. It means you know how to manage information. It means you don't lose important client emails. It means you understand how to prioritize, which task is urgent and needs to be done today, and which task can wait until tomorrow.
The ability to sort through the chaos?
Yes. An organized employee who can handle complex, messy projects and bring order to them without getting overwhelmed and giving up.
Then we have hardworking. Now, this feels very basic, but there is nuance to it in a modern context, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Decades ago, hardworking just meant staying at the office for 12 hours a day.
Just physically being in the chair.
Right. But today, hardworking is about focused, dedicated effort. It means when you are on the clock, you are genuinely engaged with the tasks. You aren't doing the absolute bare minimum just to survive the day. You push through difficult problems instead of immediately passing them off to someone else.
Next on our list is flexible. This is a fascinating word for language learners because if you translate it directly into many languages, it only applies to the physical body. Like, a gymnast is flexible, a yoga teacher is flexible. But in an English business environment, it means something entirely different.
When an employer asks if you are flexible, they do not care if you can touch your toes. They are asking about your mental and professional adaptability.
Right.
The modern business world changes incredibly fast. Imagine you have spent 3 days working on a major presentation for a client. Suddenly, your manager walks in and says, "The client completely changed their mind. We need to throw away this presentation and start over with a totally different strategy, and we need it by tomorrow."
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
It happens all the time. An inflexible employee will get angry, complain about the wasted time, and resist the change. A flexible employee will take a breath, say, "Understood," and immediately pivot their energy to the new goal. Flexibility is the ability to handle unexpected changes without losing your professional composure.
That is such a vital skill today. The final phrase in our strength category is a good team player.
This is a classic idiom. A team player is someone who prioritizes the success of the group over their own individual glory.
No lone wolves.
Exactly. It means you communicate transparently. You willingly share information instead of hoarding it to make yourself look smart. If a colleague is struggling with a heavy workload, a team player will offer to help them. It means you don't create unnecessary drama or start arguments in the office. You are a collaborative force, not a divisive one.
And when you are in the interview, you don't need to overcomplicate your answer. You can combine these concepts beautifully. You can say, "I am a highly reliable and organized worker. I consider myself a strong team player, and I pride myself on being flexible when project goals suddenly change."
That sentence paints a picture of a perfect colleague.
It really does. But, of course, talking about our strengths is the fun part. It's easy. The interview will inevitably take a turn.
And the music changes.
Right. The interviewer will look at you and ask the most uncomfortable question in the entire process. What are your weaknesses?
Oof. This question causes so much anxiety because it just feels like a trick. The entire purpose of the interview is to convince them that you are great. And suddenly, they are asking you to hand them a list of reasons why they shouldn't hire you.
Exactly. Why do they do this? Are they just trying to make us nervous?
Honestly, a little bit, yes.
Yeah.
They do it to test your self-awareness and your emotional intelligence under pressure. Everyone has weaknesses. Nobody is perfect.
Even the CEO has weaknesses?
Exactly. If you answer this question by saying, "I don't have any weaknesses," or by using a fake weakness, like, "My weakness is that I just work too hard and care too much," the interviewer will instantly know you are being dishonest.
It's such a cliche.
It is the biggest cliche. They are looking to see if you are mature enough to evaluate your own flaws, and more importantly, they want to see what you are actively doing to fix them. The golden rule here is to be honest about a real flaw, but to immediately pivot the conversation toward a positive solution.
Let's look at the phrasing that accomplishes this. The example is, "Sometimes I spend too much time checking small details, but I'm learning to manage my time more effectively." I always like to visualize this sentence structure as driving a car down a road.
Oh, I like this analogy.
Yeah. So you are driving along smoothly, and up ahead you see a massive pothole in the street. That pothole represents your weakness. If you just drive straight into it and stop, your car is broken. The journey is over.
Right, you're stuck.
If you say, "I spend too much time checking details," and then you just stop talking, you leave the interviewer with a negative impression. But if you are a skilled driver, you see the pothole, you acknowledge it is there, but then you sharply turn the steering wheel to guide the car around it and back onto the smooth road.
That is a perfect way to explain it. In English grammar, the steering wheel that saves your car from the pothole is the word but.
But, just a tiny 3-letter word.
Yes, but is an incredibly powerful conjunction. Whenever you use it, you signal to the listener that the direction of the conversation is about to reverse completely. You acknowledge the honest weakness, spending too much time on details, which means you can be slow. That is a real believable weakness. Then you use your steering wheel. But I am learning to manage my time more effectively.
You completely erase the negative feeling.
You do. By the time the sentence ends, the employer isn't thinking about the fact that you are slow. They are thinking about the fact that you are self-aware, proactive, and committed to self-improvement.
Let's look closely at the phrase you use to steer away from the problem. manage my time more effectively.
That's a great chunk of vocabulary.
This is exceptional business vocabulary. To manage your time means to organize your tasks so you meet your deadlines without panicking. And the word effectively is a word every B2 learner should embrace.
How would you define it simply? It means doing something in a way that produces the best possible result with the least amount of wasted effort. You can use it anywhere. We need to communicate more effectively. How can we solve this client issue more effectively? It always sounds smart and professional.
So, all right, you have survived the trick question. You steered around the pothole. The interview is coming to a close. The manager might close their notebook, look at the clock, and then ask the final question. But this time, the power dynamic in the room completely flips. They ask, do you have any questions for us?
This is a critical juncture where many ESL candidates make a tragic mistake. By this point in the interview, your brain is exhausted.
Totally drained.
You have been translating, listening, and speaking in a second language for 45 minutes. You feel a massive wave of relief that it is almost over because you just want to escape the room and breathe. You might smile politely and say, "No, thank you. You explained everything perfectly. I don't have any questions."
That is such a natural reaction when you are tired, but it sends a terrible signal, doesn't it?
It is a major red flag for the employer. Saying you have no questions makes you look passive. It makes it seem like you are not truly engaged with the reality of taking this job. An interview is supposed to be a two-way street.
Right, it's not an interrogation.
Well, it shouldn't be. They are evaluating whether you are right for the company, but you are supposed to be evaluating whether the company is right for you. Asking thoughtful questions proves that you are a serious professional who is critically analyzing your own career choices.
So we know we must ask something. We have 3 highly strategic questions you can keep in your back pocket. The first option is, what does a typical day in this role look like?
This is a highly practical question. Typical means normal, standard, or average. Job descriptions on the internet can be very vague. They use big buzzwords, but they don't tell you what you will actually be doing at 10 to 0 a.m. on a Tuesday. By asking this, you are forcing the manager to describe the reality of the job. Will you be sitting in meetings for 6 hours a day? Will you be working alone at a computer? Will you be interacting with angry customers? Asking these questions shows the employer that you are actively visualizing yourself doing the daily work, which subtly makes them visualize you in the role too.
It's a great psychological trick. The second option is, what opportunities are there for professional development? We talked about these concepts earlier, but combining them into a question at the end of the interview is brilliant.
It really is. Professional development encompasses any training, certifications, mentorship programs, or conferences that help you become better at your profession.
The growth mindset again.
Exactly. When you ask a company if they provide these opportunities, you are waving a massive green flag. You are reminding them right before you leave the room that you are ambitious. You are saying, if you hire me, I am not going to stagnate. I am going to continually improve. The best companies want to invest in employees who want to invest in themselves.
But the third option is probably the most powerful one. If you only remember one thing from this section, make it this question. You look at the interviewer and ask, what do you enjoy most about working here?
Oh, I love this one. The psychology behind this question is deeply fascinating, and it works in almost any culture. Up until this very moment, the entire interview has been essentially an interrogation.
Right.
It has been a formal, sometimes rigid business transaction focused entirely on you. By asking the interviewer what they enjoy, you suddenly flip the script and turn them from an interrogator into a human being.
It changes the entire atmosphere of the room. People naturally love talking about themselves and their own positive experiences.
Exactly. You are inviting them to share a story.
Yeah.
When they start talking about how much they love the collaborative culture or how proud they are of the products they build or how great the team is, they naturally start to smile.
They start feeling good.
Yes. They experience genuine positive emotions. And because you are the one sitting across from them, listening intently to their story, their brain subconsciously connects those warm, positive emotions directly to you. You leave the room with the interviewer feeling happy, which is the absolute best mindset for them to be in when they sit down to decide whether or not to offer you the job.
It is a brilliant way to end on a high note. However, Knowing all of these phrases and strategies is only half the battle. We need to talk about the physical reality of being in the room. We need to talk about managing the moment, controlling your delivery, and what to do when things inevitably go wrong. Because no matter how much you prepare, you might misunderstand something.
That is just the reality of communicating in a second language under pressure. The first rule of managing the moment is controlling your pace. Many language learners suffer from the myth that speaking fast equals fluency.
Oh, that's such a common misconception.
They think if they speak at lightning speed, the interviewer will be impressed. But when you are nervous and you try to speak fast, you end up mumbling. Your pronunciation suffers, your grammar falls apart, and you start making mistakes you wouldn't normally make.
So the goal is to actually slow down.
Yes. A comfortable, steady, deliberate pace projects authority and confidence. It gives your brain the fraction of a second it needs to construct the next sentence properly. Silence is not your enemy. Taking a 2-second pause to think before you answer a question makes you look thoughtful, not incompetent.
But what happens when the pause isn't enough? What happens when the interviewer asks a question and because of their accent or because they used a strange idiom, you simply do not understand what they are asking you? The instinct is to panic and just guess the answer.
Guessing is the most dangerous thing you can do. If you guess wrong, you will give an answer that makes absolutely no sense, which will confuse the interviewer and derail the whole conversation. It is always, always better to ask for clarification. We have 2 emergency safety phrases you should memorize. The first is, could you please repeat the question? The second is, could you explain what you mean? Asking a clarifying question proves that you're practicing active listening. It proves that you prioritize accuracy and getting the job done correctly over protecting your own ego. It shows immense maturity. You have to remember that native English speakers ask each other to repeat things in corporate meetings every single day.
That's so true. People speak over each other, people mumble, audio cuts out on video calls.
Exactly. Saying, sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again? Or could you clarify what you mean by that metric? Is standard business practice. It does not highlight a weakness in your language skills. It highlights your dedication to clear communication. Do not let fear prevent you from using those safety phrases.
That is incredibly reassuring. You are not exposing a flaw, you are demonstrating a professional skill. Well, let's bring all of these concepts together as we wrap up our session today. We have covered a massive amount of psychological and linguistic ground. We started with the concept of the professional movie trailer to answer, tell me about yourself, focusing on a tight structure of past experience, present attitude, and future ambition.
We learned how to use the word admire to show enthusiastic respect for a company's reputation, and why being a good match is better than using robotic jargon.
We broke down the specific realities behind claiming to be reliable, organized, hardworking, flexible, and a team player. We learned how to navigate the dangerous pothole of the weakness question by using the word but to steer toward a positive solution like managing time more effectively.
And we discussed the strategic power of flipping the script, ending the interview by asking the interviewer what they enjoy about their job, forcing them to connect positive emotions with your presence.
If there is one overarching summary to take away from everything we have discussed, it is this. A successful job interview in English is never a test of how many complicated, obscure words you have memorized. It is an exercise in clear, strategic communication. It is about demonstrating a positive, enthusiastic attitude and simply proving that your specific skills are the right puzzle piece to solve their specific problem.
With preparation, with practicing these specific sentence structures out loud in front of a mirror until they feel natural in your mouth, anyone can master this. You can walk into that room, shake the interviewer's hand, control your pace, and make a highly positive, lasting impression. The tools are right in front of you.
We want to leave you with one final thought to ponder as you prepare for whatever is next in your career. We usually think of language learning as an external tool, something we use to make other people understand us. But the vocabulary we practice today has an internal effect as well. I am reliable. I am a team player. I have valuable experience. I want to develop my skills.
Those are powerful affirmations.
They really are. When you practice saying these deeply positive phrases out loud in a second language, you are actively advocating for yourself. Consider how mastering this vocabulary might not just improve your English fluency. It might actually change how confidently you view your own professional worth. When you learn how to speak powerfully and positively about your own abilities in a second language, you might just find that you start believing in yourself even more deeply. Until next time, keep practicing, trust your preparation, and good luck with that interview.